Hey, everybody, it's the coach. This is Thursday Night Football on EA Sports. Straight ahead, back under center, Ryan Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins face off with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans. I'll see you again at halftime as we preview some of the action coming up on Sunday. But for now, it's Thursday Night Football. And on the call, as always,
thank you, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas, NRG Stadium in Houston. Tonight, we begin Week 8 with a good matchup for you here between the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. Now a carry here for Terrence West. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30. And let's take a look at the Texans offense.
Despite a rookie season cut short with a torn Achilles, Deontay Foreman showed flashes of being a big-time running back in the NFL. In college, he looked like a runaway freight train, a big guy that not many people wanted to get in front of. That didn't change in the NFL. Once he got a little bit of room and started to rumble, people had to make business decisions in the secondary.
Now Watson going deep for Hopkins. And they went for a big play through the air on second down. Couldn't connect. Now it's third.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
Throwing on third down, Watson. And he finds his man, Griffin. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. A gain of 19 and picking up the first.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now a run. This is Alfred Blue. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They go play action here on first down. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And he fires one that's intercepted. The rookie Minka Fitzpatrick with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Last week, somehow they won. He threw all those picks, but they still won. Here, opening drive, unfortunately, he picked up where he left off.
Partner, you get a lot of extra patience when you find a way to win despite you making mistakes. But starting out again this game, that patience is going to wear thin really quick. And I think the guys on the defensive side of the ball will be the first ones to let him know that's got to stop.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
That's Stills bringing it in. A good pickup there at 22. First carry for Frank Gore, the newest and oldest Dolphin. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Here's Tannehill now on second down. Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. Tannehill with a hook up to Parker for the Dolphin first.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence, or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. Solid move, but he's corralled just beyond the 40. A check on the numbers for Kenyon Drake last week. 21 carries, 83 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
To throw on second down is Tannehill. Pushing his way through. On the left side, this is Stills. Tannehill finding Stills, and it's a Dolphin first down.
I don't believe that this opening drive is surprising to either one of us after the time we spent with the coaching staff and players prior to the game. What about you?
Absolutely. Not only that, but that big article in the paper this morning about their philosophy on starting games like you're shot out of a cannon, and that's what they've done. Very methodical here on this first drive.
Yeah, so many teams talk about that fast start. We're actually seeing it happen right here in front of us.
But now the kicker. Can they cap it off by putting the ball in the end zone? On second down, it's Drake. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Count me as a little bit surprised by what we just saw there, because this has been a pretty long drive, and normally you think that wears down a defense. In this case, looked like the offensive line let him down a little bit.
They allowed the penetration and the ability to stuff him for a loss. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up fourth.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And here comes the Texans now. That opening drive ended with the INT. It didn't lead to points, but still not the way they were hoping to begin the game.
But how about going and telling your defense, thank you, a huge thank you. You said it didn't lead to points, stalled off that drive. Now they've got a chance to redeem themselves and maybe reward their defense a little bit by putting some points on the board on this one.
And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. Just 4 yards on the pickup, but that's good enough to extend the drive.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, let him give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
He rifles one that's intercepted. The linebacker, Stephon Anthony, with a pick. And the return will be stopped at the 34-yard line. Well, when someone other than the quarterback is throwing the football, it's either beautiful or a disaster, and here it was the latter.
Nowhere in between, right? You're exactly right. It takes some fortitude to call that type of a play, but when it doesn't work, oh boy, you wish you hadn't.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Tannehill hands to Drake. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It looks like a pickup of 6. That leaves him with 7 yards to go on 3rd down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Throwing on 3rd down, Tannehill. He'll set up the screen to Drake. And he'll go down at the 28. Now the screen only good for 3 that time, and it'll bring up a 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
Deshaun Watson of the Texans offense trot back out there. He'll look to shake off the interception on the opening drive. He should at least be comforted that it resulted in 3, not 6.
And if I were him, I would be the guy all the way out on the field greeting my defense now, saying thanks a lot. You held them to a field goal after I turned it over. That's a big defensive stand for them. He needs to go out now and make up for what he did on the first drive. I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
It's really simple to say that they know their identity, that they are a passing team. But one of the reasons that they're so successful, they know how to mix in the run and make sure that they keep the defense off balance and not able to just simply say, let's go get the quarterback and disrupt things.
It's the first time that they've looked his way tonight, and he comes up with a first down on the play. Charles, Thursday night game, I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for?
What's that?
Who are the freshest guys?
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They're looking at a 2nd and short yardage to start things out. To throw is Watson. Oh, the ball is out. Watson lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He finds his target, Fuller. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. They convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this inside the 30. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will. I think you mentioned in the opening drive that these guys needed to establish the run, protect the young QB. Actually wrote that down, believe it or not. So how would you assess things so far?
I'm kind of touched that you actually wrote something like that down. I appreciate that, partner. But I do think they've been able to do that. Maybe not as effectively as they wanted to, but I think we'll see more as this game goes along because they want to continue to take care of that young QB.
And down inside the 15 he goes. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types.